Okay, we're here with another top 5 video. Today we're doing the top 5 most powerful cards in Modern. I think these are the most meta warping. They shape Modern. It's hard to really say most powerful because obviously you'll pick a 10 mana, 50 mana spell like Emrakul is the most powerful spell. But just for like efficiency due to its cost or how versatile it is, that's why I put these as my 5. Let me know what your 5 would be down below. Love to hear it. Let's get into it. At number 5, we have Wrenn and 6, essentially a planeswalker for 2 mana that is +1 draw a card minus kill a creature when it's at its best, essentially. Very strong for any land drops. It lets you keep these mediocre 2-land hands with 5 spells because you just have Wrenn 6. That'll just get you there. That's how insane this card is. You get to keep this insanely weak hand otherwise, banking on drawing all the way up to 4 or 5 lands to cast your Armath, to cast your Cryptic commands, but it lets you be safe. It lets you play decks like Niv Mizzet. So I think it's an insanely strong card. It's not Legacy where we have Wasteland, so I had to be banned for that, but it's still a 2 mana walker that draws a card as a +1, which is insane. And then it can kill numerous amounts of creatures as its minus to protect itself. It does everything you want. And the emblem, it wins the game. So I think it's, for me, the 5th most powerful card. Okay, number 4, Lightning Bolt. Number 4, Lightning Bolt. Its versatility, its efficiency, it can't be matched. We were looking at other removal spells such as Path and Fatal Push, and they're not as versatile as Lightning Bolt. The ability to also kill your opponent, but not having the drawback of having to have Revolt or giving your opponent a basic, which is so huge. And paired up with Mystic Sanctuary, you're able to cast the same Lightning Bolt 3 times to kill your opponent. And I think this is one of the best cards because it goes into aggro, mid-range, and control. Control for removal / winning the game. You pair it up in aggro with Monastery Swift Spears and Skyclave. You're able to aggressively take out your opponent. And then it can be a removal spell for killing 1, 2, and 3 drop creatures. And the efficiency of it only being 1 mana and it being in red, so it's played in a vast majority of the format. I think this is my pick at a strong number 4. And then we go number 3, Thoughtseize. The efficiency of being 1 mana to answer essentially anything in the format. The low drawback of only 2 life. Being one of the best colors, black, in the current metagame, I think is very, very strong. It has the ability to go in control decks, has the ability to go in mid-range decks and aggro decks. There's 3 different styles of play that it fits into, and it is strong in each of them. The power of also knowing your opponent's hand information is key. The information that you gain is insane for 1 mana. To be able to look at your opponent's hand, having that perfect info of the turn, or for the upcoming turns, you know the majority of their hand. It's so huge to lay out your own plays as to what you're going to be able to do safely, or if you're able to go aggressive and play your Planeswalker without worry that they're going to play their own or worry that they have a counter spell. And then it lets you map out your turns to what's okay. It lets you see Infect's hand to see if they have hexproof or not, if your bolt's going to be able to kill it, or if the Fatal Push is going to get there because they have hexproof. It's insane how much information it gives for only 1 mana. And it's at number 3 because I think the cards ahead are even stronger than Thoughtseize. They're immune in a sense to Thoughtseize, kind of. And at number 2, I'm pretty sure you can guess it, Uro, which may be number 1 on some people's list, but I think Uro is number 2 behind what I would say the most powerful one is. Uro does it all. It goes pretty much in every deck, it feels like. It just fits into everything. The efficiency, the ability to play it 6 times, whether it's only 1 copy of it. You can just play it over and over and over because of Escape. I think Escape, it probably should have been make a token, not allow this card to be cast 6 times in a row. Which I know doesn't work for other cards such as Cling to Dust, but it creates this problem with Uro, I think. where one copy can be multiple, which I've gone over time and time again. And I think the format is warped around this card. It's warped standard, historic, pioneer. It's every format it's in, even legacy. It's shifted the metagame. It's insane how much advantage this one card gives because its ability to recur itself. And then I put it above Thoughtseize because you never want to Thoughtseize this card almost. Because you're only taking away half a card. They just have to cast it from the graveyard. Sometimes you're doing them a blessing. They don't have to cast that first time. They can just flash it back, or sorry, escape it immediately. And so that's why I think it's far further ahead than the Thoughtseize. That you don't need to know the information in your opponent's hand because you'll have infinite answers and infinite counter spells because you're just drawing card after card. The fact that it gains you life, so it's good against aggro, and the fact that it draws you cards, so it's good against pretty much every deck, because who doesn't want to draw cards? It just can't be beat. It's one of the best creatures ever printed, and it's in the best colors currently with all these different things backing it, such as Veil Summer, which was extremely pushed, Aether Gust, which I know answers 0, but still, you get to play these strong cards beside it. And so at my number 1, which I'm sure a lot of people thought I would have put Uro, but number 1, I put Fiddler Dead because it just goes in there. You don't even have to be blue-green. Eldrazi has been playing Fiddler Dead at the moment just because it can. It's insane how much this card does for just being simply a land. It comes into play tapped, sure, but there's ways to get around that, and other times you just don't care. It's knocked out control from the format. Like, you still play control, but you're stuck playing bad cards to be able to answer it. Like, no one wants to play Filter Rune. And then the reason why Jeskai is actually playable is because you get to play Cleansing Wildfire, which is a main deck answer to Fiddler Dead. And so I think the problem with this is you have these 4-color piles that are just playing Fiddler Dead and have this insane late game strategy where they just go get field with a Hour Promise and they win the game because you're spending all these resources to answer 2 for 1 Omnath, 3 for 1 Uro, Planeswalkers, and you're exhausting your own resources, and then they just play this land for free, and boom. Now comes the horde of zombies. It's just, you can't play mid-range if you're not playing Fiddler Dead. You have to play your own Fiddler Dead. Having your own land destruction doesn't really work against it because the amount of lands they can get. I've had Boyle knock someone down to 1 land, and they still beat me by Fiddler Dead. They just went, okay, land, freaking Hour Promise, game over. It's like, okay, well, it's an exhausting card. I think it should go, but it's warped the entire meta game. It's knocked out all these strategies. It's put in the greed piles. The Blood Moon decks don't even do well against it because they have Skyclave Apparition. They have Cryptics. There's so many answers to Blood Moon nowadays. So I think this card is by far the best card in Modern. And yeah, that was my top 5. I'd like to hear what you guys' would be, if what you guys like, didn't like. It's hard to base on power level, but I wanted to get this out there. Thought it was something fun to do. And yeah, let me know what you guys think down below. Be sure to like and subscribe.